Welcome to the Computed-Aided Engineering Solutions from HPE, a quantitative assessment from analyst firm Cabot Partners. My name is Tony DeVarco. I am the HPC Vertical Manager for Manufacturing at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and I'm joined with Dr. Srini Shari from Cabot Partners. The manufacturing industry is forever changing, and each year the industry faces new challenges. As technology, demographics, and economic climates shift, manufacturers must innovate in order to stay competitive. Manufacturing is positioned for growth, but industry leaders have to guide their organizations strategically. Some of the challenges that manufacturers need to overcome include increasing regulations and compliance measures, keeping operating costs down, staying relevant as product development and innovations move at a lightning pace, all without sacrificing quality. So how do manufacturers maximize productivity while addressing all the challenges we just discussed? For the past 10 years, computer-aided engineering, or CAE, has been increasingly recognized as the way to successfully design and develop new products. From a business standpoint, CAE decreases the time needed to complete the product design. Ansys, a leader in CAE software and a good partner of HPE, has reported a 70% reduction in the design cycle with the use of their software. Now this is key. The manufacturing business environment is competitive, so it's of utmost importance to get to market faster than the competition. But manufacturers have to accomplish this with a high quality product. They can't sacrifice quality for speed. But by accelerating development times, CAE gives businesses the time to evaluate and test prototypes and gain deeper insight into the products they are developing. With more time for testing and evaluation, companies can fail fast, learn more, and deliver high-quality products in a quick go-to-market fashion. This all sounds great, right? Well, within the manufacturing industry, small to medium enterprises make up 80% of the industry. These businesses are most likely to stick to old paradigms and use old, outdated IT systems and workstations to run their best-in-class CAE software like Ansys. As you can imagine, this creates issues. At the point of installing the software, the customer could run into immediate constraints because they didn't fully understand what type of infrastructure they needed to realize the full benefits of their CAE software. If the customer can bypass these constraints with a few workstations, it's likely their engineers will run into longer turnaround times and face limitations in the complexity and the size of their models. In fact, Ansys has reported that 40% of their users limit the size and complexity of every model they run. Workstations also limit the overall software usage across the teams, as engineers can't pool resources when working in silos. They will be limited by storage and memory when trying to run their simulation jobs. Let's look at the HPE solution environment and the CAE application segments that we cover. There's computational structural mechanics, both implicit and explicit, computational fluid dynamics, computational electromagnetics, pre- and post-processing, and simulation data management. HPE has both a business and technical relationship with all the key ISVs in the CAE segment, from Ansys to Simulia to ESI, Altair, LSTC, and others. We start at the bottom of the foundation with our HPE Apollo computing and storage solutions. On top of that, we have a 64-bit Linux OS, could be Red Hat or SLES. On top of that, our HPE High Performance Computing software stack and a workload scheduling tool that allows you to run the various solvers. And then for pre and post processing, we have a high performance remote visualization set of tools. And everything is brought together by the HPE Technical Services Pointnext. Let's go a click down and look at a mapping of the CAE simulation workloads of structural mechanics, fluid dynamics, electromagnetics, meshing, and post-processing, along with simulation data management. For remote visualization, artificial intelligence, and machine learning workloads, there is this Apollo 6500 system that can hold up to 8 GPUs in one chassis. If you currently are using workstations and looking for a small cluster that you can scale with your needs, the Apollo 2000 Gen 10 powered by the Intel Xeon family of processors is the right platform for you. What if you have a CAE cluster but you're looking for a high density in an air-cooled rack? Then the Apollo 6000 integrated cluster is what you should look at. And if you're servicing hundreds of engineers with very large throughput jobs that scale to thousands of cores, the HPE SGI 8600 water-cooled system would fit that requirement. For large meshing jobs and complex electromagnetic simulations, the HPE MC990X shared memory system can be incorporated into your cluster as a superfat memory node. And for scratch and simulation data management, there is the Apollo 4000 family of products. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Srini Share from Cabot Partners, an IT analyst firm with deep expertise in HPC and the manufacturing industry. Cabot Partners worked with HPE in conjunction with Intel to build a total value of ownership framework that quantifies the value of HPE's CAE solutions versus a white box solution, using such drivers such as performance, scalability, flexibility, integration with partners, and ease of use. This total value of ownership framework also quantifies the cost and benefit implications to HPE CAE customers, such as improved personnel and organizational productivity, lower risks, better quality of service, and increased revenue profits for our customers. Dr. Share, please take it away.
Thank you, Tony, for your gracious introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to discuss today a quantitative total value of ownership, or TVO, Cabot Partners assessment for CAE solutions. Cabot Partners is an IT analyst firm. We focus on emerging computing technologies, including high-performance computing, analytics, and AI and machine learning. We also have deep expertise in the manufacturing industry. The TVO framework and results that I'm going to take you through today will be probably the most holistic way at looking at the total value of CAE solutions. It goes way beyond traditional TCO analysis. And as you will see, HPE systems deliver significant ROI compared to white box clusters. As an outline, we will first discuss the total value of ownership, or TVO framework for CAE. We will look at cost and value drivers of HPE solutions and white box solutions. The cost and value drivers for manufacturers could be reduced costs, enhanced productivity and quality, higher revenues and profits, and mitigated risk. We'll take you through this TVO analysis for three separate configurations: small, medium, and large, and we'll discuss the ROI and payback period and discuss why HPE systems deliver better ROI and payback period compared to corresponding white box clusters. Here we'll detail the total value of ownership framework. That is a holistic framework that is far superior to traditional total cost of ownership frameworks. The TVO framework categorizes the interrelated cost and value drivers for CAE solutions along the horizontal axes. These drivers are arranged based on whether they are technology related on the right or business related on the left. Along the vertical axes, the drivers are arranged based on ease of measurability, direct on the top and derived at the bottom. The cost and value drivers for CAE are depicted as circles whose size is proportionate to the impact on a manufacturing client's total value. The first quadrant, which is the top right-hand quadrant, is the TCO, or the total cost of ownership quadrant. This is a very familiar quadrant, and typical costs include one-time acquisition costs for hardware and deployment and the annual costs for software maintenance and operations. Moving on to the second quadrant, this is the productivity and quality quadrant. The TVO model quantifies the value of productivity gains of administrators, engineers, and in fact the entire organization. It also estimates improvements in product quality. Moving on to the third quadrant, which is the derived and business quadrant, the bottom and the left quadrant. Here the TVO model quantifies faster time to value with better optimized and a more comprehensive CAE ecosystem. It also includes innovation capabilities that manufacturers can drive to further improve growth, revenues, and profits. And finally, the fourth quadrant, which is a quadrant at the bottom to the right. This is the risk quadrant. A streamlined process with lower system downtime and better business and IT understanding and collaboration with suppliers can minimize cumbersome iterations and rework and delays. Further, improved security and process consistency and data quality can further mitigate risks of failed and poor analysis outcomes. In this study, we look at both HPE and white box systems and find that the CAE, as the CAE solution size grows, the TVO improves and the ROI and other financial metrics improve. In fact, the HPE differentiation is more pronounced in the larger configurations. Here we detail the configurations and cost assumptions used in the TVO model. 3 configurations are analyzed for both HPE and white box clusters. They are small, medium, and large. HPE cluster platforms provide a choice of servers within the Apollo family, processors from the Intel Xeon Scalable processors, operating systems, interconnects such as the Intel OmniPath architecture or OPA, and high-value cluster software from HPE and partners. HPE's flagship Apollo Gen 10 servers are high-density, energy-efficient, memory-intensive systems that scale from small, which is the Apollo 2000, to medium, the Apollo 6000, to large supercomputers, the HPE SGI 8600. These configurations are detailed in the top table. They include the number of racks, the number of servers, the number of processors, and the RAM and storage per server. The HPE Apollo combines a modular design with power distribution and air and cooling techniques, providing up to 4 times more performance per square foot compared to white box systems. Table 2 at the bottom goes through other relevant assumptions that are factored into the TVO model. These include the one-time hardware acquisition and maintenance costs, which are assumed to be 8% greater than corresponding white box clusters. The licensing costs for CAE application software and other software are typically the largest cost component in this model and are assumed to be the same for both alternatives. Electricity costs are at 9 cents per kilowatt hours for both systems, and the same competitive salaries are assumed for personnel. Here we look at the results for a small CAE configuration for both HPE and white box systems. The costs and benefits are mapped by each quadrant and value driver. HPE's Apollo 2000's larger acquisition and maintenance costs are more than offset by higher client benefits and enhanced productivity and quality, higher revenues and profits, and lower risks. Now, going in detail quadrant by quadrant, you'll see that the HPE Apollo systems lower the data center facilities costs, as you can see in the first quadrant, the cost quadrant, the power and cooling costs, and require fewer administrators to manage CAE environments. This helps reduce the annual operating costs. Often these systems are pre-configured in the factory, and HPE systems have easy-to-use integration templates for commonly deployed CAE applications. This helps further lower the deployment costs and improve productivity. Moving on to the second quadrant, or the productivity and quality quadrant. With fewer downtimes and a better streamlined and performance-optimized CAE solutions, HPE systems enhance the productivity of engineers. System administrator productivity for HPE systems is also enhanced with turnkey HPC cluster solutions and software for comprehensive ongoing node-to-rack-to-job management. Organizational productivity is also enhanced with high-value HPE services that are tailored for the manufacturing industry. Manufacturers can also improve quality of products and in fact the entire CAE process by integrating with other HPE manufacturing solutions for the edge, IoT, machine learning, etc., and by detecting problems faster to reduce rework and costs. Greater quality benefits accrue with larger configurations that enable more realistic multi-physics CAE models. Moving on to the third quadrant, the revenue and profits quadrant, HPE solutions also deliver faster time to value through a better and more comprehensive ecosystem of CAE partners whose applications are optimized for predictable performance, scale, ease of deployment, and integration. Value-added HPC software from HPE and partners enable manufacturers to optimize complex CAE workflows and automate cluster installation, which becomes very cumbersome for white box clusters, especially as configuration size grows. Finally, the fourth quadrant, which is the risk quadrant. Manufacturers must mitigate risks which typically grow with configuration size. Better reliability, availability, and serviceability, or RAS, and security features in enterprise-grade HPE systems for CAE help manufacturers contain downtime and security expenses. HPE solutions also promote better collaboration with suppliers to further lower risks and drive revenues and profits. Here we look at a medium configuration. The HPE Apollo 6000 system delivers even more value compared to corresponding white box systems. In fact, the HPE Apollo 6000, as you can see in the charts, delivers even greater client benefits in enhanced productivity and quality, higher revenues and profits, and lower risks compared to corresponding white box systems. As with the small case, you can see the comparison quadrant by quadrant, going from cost, productivity and quality, revenues and profits, and risks. The HPE Apollo 6000 provides even greater value for manufacturers compared to the smaller HPE configurations, and more importantly, the differential of the value that the HPE 6000 provides corresponding to white box systems is even greater for the medium configuration. This differential value can only be highlighted if you look at a holistic total value of ownership assessment. Merely looking at a cost-to-cost comparison between an HPE system and a white box system will not give you the insights on value and the differential benefits, including the intangible benefits that you can get as a manufacturer from HPE solutions. Finally, we look at the large configuration. The HPE Apollo SGI 8600 is compared to an equivalent white box system. The Apollo SGI 8600's slightly larger acquisition and maintenance costs, including costs for water cooling, are considerably more than offset by even greater client benefits in enhanced productivity and quality, higher revenues and profits, and lower risks. In fact, manufacturers get the maximum returns because of unique CAE capabilities delivered by the Apollo SGI 8600. These unique capabilities help drive radical innovation and have the potential of creating entirely new product categories and businesses for manufacturers. Again, looking systematically quadrant by quadrant, you will see that the differential value provided by the Apollo SGI 8600 compared to equivalent white box systems is the maximum. In fact, manufacturers with these systems can innovate more and generate more new product ideas through deeper insights and from more accurate multi-physics simulations, which typically require larger configurations. This improves a manufacturer's competitive advantage, revenues, and profits. And as you increase the configuration size, you will see that for the largest configuration, the revenues and profits are the most. Now, when you look at the risks for large systems are generally higher than smaller systems, but with better reliability, availability, and serviceability, or RAS and security features in the Apollo SGI 8600, manufacturers can contain downtime and security expenses and also collaborate better with suppliers to further lower risks and drive revenues and profits. In this chart, we put all the analysis together for all three configurations for both HPE systems and white box systems. Key financial metrics for a 3-year time horizon are looked at, both ROI or return on investment and payback period. If you look at the two charts, in all cases the ROI and payback period improve as configuration sizes grow from small to medium to large. This is expected because as systems scale, manufacturers can solve more complex CAE problems and get more innovation and more benefit. The interesting thing about this, if you look at the chart on the left, the ROI for HPE systems compared to white box systems improve as you go from small to medium to large. In fact, the ROI for an HPE system ranges from 100% small to 386% for large, while a white box cluster delivers an ROI of 56% for small and 192% for large. This implies that HPE systems deliver a considerable improvement in ROI, going from 78% for small to 101% for large, as you can see in the asterisks in the first chart. Moving on to the second chart on the right, which is the payback period chart, you see that the HPE solution payback period in month ranges from 5.01 for large to 7.72 for small, whereas the corresponding white box clusters deliver a payback period in months of 6.18 for large and 8.82 for small. This implies that HPE systems also deliver better payback improvements from 19% for large to 12% for small over corresponding white box clusters. Now for some conclusions and recommendations. We've taken you through our total value of ownership assessment for CAE solutions for both HPE and white box systems. The TVO framework is more holistic and can quantify both tangible and intangible value, whereas TCO assessments or total cost of ownership assessments can only look at costs, and this provides a very narrow view of the total value delivered by HPC systems for CAE. Now, HPE is the market leader for CAE, and many manufacturers worldwide are benefiting from HPE solutions. In this assessment, we interviewed several HPE clients and partners, and it became clear that the unique capabilities of HPE CAE solutions, as articulated in this talk, deliver significant intangible value for manufacturers. And that is why the ROI and payback period for CAE for HPE systems is consistently better than white box systems, even if they cost a little bit more compared to white box systems. In fact, the ROI and payback period for CAE improves with configuration size in all cases, including for white box systems. And HPE systems consistently deliver better ROI and payback compared to white box systems, and the improvements in ROI and payback period with HPE systems over white box clusters grow with configuration size. This means that as a manufacturer, your investment with HPE systems is better protected, especially as you deploy larger and more complex multi-physics, CAE, and analytics workloads, and as you embark into the emerging areas of IoT, AI, and machine learning. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. I turn it over now to Tony DeVarco and the HPE team.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to the HPE CAE Total Value of Ownership webinar. For more information about our solutions for manufacturing and engineering customers, please feel free to use the URL listed on the slide. If you would like a copy of the HPE CAE Total Value of Ownership white paper, we would be glad to send you a copy. Thanks.